What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. I'm in the end stages of recovering from the crush card. It's been difficult, but not as bad as the last two times I've had it, so bear with me if I'm a little bit slow or sluggish. I'm not trying to pad out the time. I have a ton of cards to get through. That being said, the Albaz structure deck had its reveals finalized, and Albion is indeed missing. Both the secret rares have gone way up in price, and when you have a structure in so many people's hands, those missing pieces become also important. So the secret rare here is up even further. I just refreshed than it was before, $34 to $35 lowest, with people actually spending money in this range after they sold out at 28s after selling out at 25s earlier in the month. That's pretty ridiculous in my opinion, but you gotta do what you gotta do to play a deck, I suppose. And Titaniclad's secret rare is going way up in price. You do have a common from the last structure deck available, but to get everything foil max rarity branded, which has been a pretty pricey deck over time, this has gone from $10 and now is the lowest listed of $27, and multiple people have bought into that range as well. Now, Albaz was easy for me to suggest for the ultimate rare, but multiple versions of it are going up. There's a lot of nice ones you can play, but the ulti was around $8 for a good amount of time, and now the lowest listings are $22, and people are spending in the 20 to 22 range on this version of the card. I think when you have a decently embossed foil of it, it actually does look pretty good despite it being a modern ulti, and at under $10, along with how a lot of OTSs have gone, the moment there's support, it does feel like it doubles to even triples in this case. Sci-Frame Gear Delta is making a bit of a comeback. I believe this is the one that stops spells, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, spells. Somebody in the Discord mentioned stopping branded fusion with it, as if an Ash Blossom wouldn't do that on its own, but having backups against spell cards and tutor cards within this metagame has proven itself a bit, and we see it going way back up in price for its two printings. Also to note, Sci-Frame Driver, which has been on my penny stonk watch for a long time for its holographic, is finally climbing a good amount once again, and is almost $2 at $155 and $169 lowest currently. People like hollowing out the other pieces of their decks. There is an ultra rare without foiling, aka the gold letter rare version here as well, that isn't the worst thing in the world to have alongside it. Forbidden Chalice QCR is way up, and people are like, is this for Genesis in the Discord? No. Triff's deck actually was playing and on this, so Chalice has been going up for both the Platinum Secret as well as its QCR. Very interesting to see cards that find their way back into metagames like this one, and it does show like that long-lived knowledge can pay off within certain metagames as well. Ryzeal Duo Drive, its QCR is way up. Let me know if you know the answer on this one. Is this for Modern? I would think so, because the points are pretty harsh on this in Genesis, but it does look like this is getting very hard targeted on its QCR right now. We have Dragunity getting new support, and the people in my Discord are freaking out about it. They are calling it so good, insane, that kind of stuff, and the market is reacting similarly. Dragunity Remus only has its one printing right now out of Ghost from the Past, and has skyrocketed way up there past $8 and people are spending in that range of even 9 to 10 during the buyout mode. Dragunity Knight Romulus, every time I see this, I just think Dragon Link, though, not Dragunity, but finding maybe a bit of a home in the deck. We see it spiking up really high as well compared to where it was, around $2 for its sales, and the listings are still there, cheaper for people to mix and match, where its other versions, very easy access, including that no foil ultra from Max Gold. Then we have not Dragunity Ravine. I told you, bear with me today. Dragon Ravine. Man, Flamingo Flare X. It's been a while. Phoenix Flare X is a streamer who used to really specialize in Dragunity. I hope this brings him back for a couple streams. This is up for its QCR on full buyout mode, and then Kaiba Collection just got re-waved, so you'll have access to more copies of those, and then it has a plat version. Really depends on the version you want, but the QCR does look very nice, and lowest listed 30. Where did the sales went out at 20 and 15? Wow, and they've been going through the month, huh? Yeah, that makes sense. It was already down to 15 and then bounced up. And then one that got a lot of sales but didn't go up in price with only one printing is the Dragunity Knight Aredbear. I probably murdered that, but it is a boss monster with a very solid effect on paper, yet is available for 50 to 60 cents pretty readily. With only one printing, I wouldn't sleep on this. I'd still want access to it, but I guess with all the things you could do, synchroing up to this and link options, that kind of stuff, like, I guess people figure other stuff's better, but I'd still want access to it personally. Now, offerings to the Doomed is going up for its DT and Lart. I've heard that this is for Edison, but also people are looking at it for Genesis because it's removal that doesn't really have to look at options versus a lot of other things in the format and points. So offerings to the Doomed, it's way up over time for this version, as well as the DT being on full buyout mode. Our mateys, I believe this is for Fiend Smith, is up in price. Let me know if otherwise. But all versions extremely down on quantities and on full buyout mode. We have Lopter way up in price over time. I did see Dyer complaining about this on Twitter, and I think it's super justified. This should have some kind of reprint at this point, all the way out of Eternity Code. And I do think there's a twofold thing to this buyout. There's Genesis, and then it's one of the only things that's really good that can be, popped out in the Forbidden archetype by the Witch. And so being able to actually go into something after searching and getting more positive results makes sense, but I don't think you'd go whole archetype around that as an engine. We'll have to wait and see. I played this at the beginning of Master Duel 2, and it was so popular that it got restricted in certain cups. So people are familiar with the deck. It's been money for some time with its one printing, and now it goes further beyond to 24. Last I'd look, it was around 18, and it looks like all those 18s have sold out, and people are even biting at 24s. Wow. Hop Ear Squadron is just notable. I think I brought this up in recent history, that it's over $1 for a common, and it's one of the priciest commons of modern history, but it did start as a rare. So this is just something to always pick out of bulk at this point, and it does mix with the generator stuff. Now, for Genesis, Red Lotus King Flame Crime and other Red Dragon Archfiend stuff are going up, and it's like watching the buyouts again when the structure deck came out. It's almost all going the exact same pattern as before. The QCR is up big in a full buyout mode. The secret rare is on full buyout mode. Crimson Gaia from the structure deck is going. And remember, these structures ended up getting bought out because of the initial buyouts for these cards. So they actually depleted total amounts that are out there. Now we can still see that full displays are available, but they're up versus where they used to be, thanks to these three cards, the Resonators and Gaia, being expensive at one point. So with Gaia going back now and being looked at for an alternate format, it might even push those a further degree, depending, or at least off shelves for good. Supe Duskwalker is way up in price. And I want to say, when I say for good, they unlimited wave a lot of structure decks. So for good until Konami gets dollar signs in their eyes or something. Supe Duskwalker is way up. Also, I would assume this being for Genesis, it has synergy with these kind of strategies. It makes sense that people are targeting the holo, and she has the waifu tax on top. There's an easy access common if you just want to be able to play her, but the holographic is way way up once again. Let me know what you think of all these Genesis buyouts. The format has such a positive reception, and it's doing more lifting in the market than I thought it could. I've talked to a major vendor who was telling me how his sales rates and amount of packages per day and everything with the timeline of when Genesis came out has just upped so much on so many cards. So I do feel like those creative juices flowing and people being excited to play Yu-Gi-Oh! In some form or fashion is really pushing things in a direction past what I thought it could. It already lifted Dude out of the dumpster further than I thought, but like I said, it wouldn't save product on its own, and they are $48 boxes when vendors are paying $56, and that's online. So it's not like it's single-handedly saving Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it's dragging it up from the depths of despair and darkness and putting a flashlight of hope up there. But it definitely does have more of an impact on card prices than I would have thought it would immediately have even with a YCS. Let me know what you think of everything going on, though, from the meta to new support to branded buyouts go burr. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, everybody.